important activities are getting, customers and customer gatherers. But also, I believe a very high payoff activity is, as what I'd shared with you today, was on prospecting. Prospecting is the lifeblood of selling. So, once again, prospecting is an activity that helps you to get paid by getting customers and customer gatherers. And the fourth one I would look at is not trying to do the analysis of paralysis, as some have mentioned, which I agree with, but I do believe that there is an important role for a certain amount of organizational preparation in your business. Get a small 3x5 file box. If you have a goal of sponsoring 20 to 25 people over the next, let's say, year or 2 years in the business, be kind of like a CIA or an NSA agent. Get 25 envelopes, manila envelopes, write 1 through 25 on there, put all of the information when you sign up a consultant in, and make you a file box just of all of the people you plan on personally sponsoring. And what will happen is as over a period of time, as you start sponsoring 1, 2, 3, now you're into 4, you really see the progressive realization of those goals coming to fruition, which gets you excited. Plus, when you go to work with that new consultant, you're not having to look for their C number or worry about what their address is or their phone number, their email address, because you've already documented it. You've created a file on that personal person that you sponsored. So you don't have to get a big file box, and I know that's kind of dinosauric, but when you can play around with it and spill blood all over it and coffee and and it's worn around the edges, you've got a successful group of people, and those are your people that you want to track. So hope that helps.
She wants to follow up. She's persistent. That's cool.
A follow-up question to the contact manager in PowerZone. I've looked through there and I use it like you're saying, but I haven't figured out a way to personalize a thank you email from me, or is there a way to do that in PowerZone?
No, not to my knowledge. There's not a way to personalize it, though. They're pre-made emails that have your picture. You want to make sure everybody wants to go in and set their website up to where you've taken the time to, upload your picture, because as those emails go out, it does give that personal identification to you. But they do have in the PowerZone, and you can order nice cards that are thank you cards that you could use possibly as a way to keep in touch with somebody like that.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Tell us your name, where you're from, and your level. And your promotion level.
And my what?
Your name. What's your name?
Patricia Richards.
Where you from?
Plano.
MC, RC, SC, EC?
RC.
What's your question?
Thank you. My question has to do, quite frankly, thank you all for the wonderful, uplifting things you've talked about all day, but I want to ask what to do when your team dies. So, for example, if you have a whole leg and you've worked really hard, you know how hard it is to get it going, and then the top of the ladder goes away, and that pushes depression into the rest of the team.
I always say, hey, it's better to give birth than to resurrect the dead. That's all I'm with.
Boy, I want to see that one. Sorry. That was sarcasm at its best. But I think, with regards to what Thien was saying, though, it is true. It is easier to sponsor somebody new than that. But one of the key elements, though, is that you have to make sure that you stay connected into a system with a team and with, the Ambit family, just because you're going to run through this, what we call the emotional roller coaster. And, but the number one thing you can't allow is to have somebody with negative, I call them negative Nellies, or the anacondas of Ambit, and because they suck the life right out of you. And so you got to stay away from those people. So when you have that scenario, you want to go and find people that are positive, motivated, people that are having success, and talk to them and find out what it is, because the worst thing you can do is allow that negative person or that team, that section of team that is not building or is not successful, to drag you down, because it'll bring you out of action as well. And so, I agree. I think personally, it's about bringing in new consultants, new sponsorships, so that you get that excitement level and work with those people, because it's virtually impossible to bring somebody back from the dead. But if it happens, I'd like to know.
Tony, do you want to add anything?
And yeah, I learned in my first business that there's very few problems that you can have in this business or this industry that sponsoring somebody new won't fix. So the solution is always sponsoring somebody new. Additionally, though, one of the big mistakes that I see people making a lot, and more so probably in Ambit than in some of the other things that I've done, because so few people really understand the compensation plan, they don't work depth properly. And so they want to bring in their personally sponsored people, and then, you know, those people bring in other people, and it's like everybody just leaves the people to bring in other people aspect of it. And I think part of it is because Ambit is such an easy build, because the product is something that everybody uses, and, you know, you don't have to take any money up front. You know, it's not like you're getting a down payment or, you know, they're buying something. They're just saying, hey, I want it, and then they're verifying, and then the next bill comes from Ambit instead of the other one, right? So, you know, one of the things that I really, really, really believe is that you have to build depth, and what that means is you sponsor somebody and you help that person sponsor somebody, and if you're the leader, you're gonna work the depth in that organization on and on and on and on, right? And so if you have a relationship with the people down the line of that leg, right, then the guy on top quitting doesn't really affect anything, right? As a matter of fact, part of the key to promoting effectively is having relationships with the people down in the bottom of an organization. And if you want to get the people on top to go to an event, go get the guy all the way in the bottom to sign up for the event, and then let the people up the line know that, you know, hey, Fred's signed up, and then Mary signed up, and Bob signed up, and Julie signed up, and then all of a sudden, it's like, what do I have to lose, right? If you create the fire at the bottom, if you're in a 10-story building and you're on the first floor and there's a fire in the building, you know, and the fire alarm goes off and everything, you're going to go, and they say it's on the 8th floor, you know, you're going to go get your belongings and, you know, get out of the hotel. But if you're on the 10th floor and there's a fire on the 2nd floor, right, and they say it's time to get out, man, you're going to go out in your underwear, your pajamas, you know, whatever it is, because you value your own skin more than any of the possessions that you have there. So create the fire at the bottom. The fire works its way upward, but just make sure that you have relationships in every organization that you have down the line. That way, you know, somebody having a stupidity spasm doesn't affect you.
Hi. Hello. Okay. Hi, I'm Nasasha, and I'm from Dallas. My main question was in regards to events like the vision board parties and the, what is the other party that you guys throw?
Soundcast?
No, like the usual,
Business presentation?
like the business presentation parties that you have, like
Home meetings.
home meetings. I'm sorry, I'm very new. So with those, how elaborate have you seen those? Because I'm using Ambit, the bonuses that I make from Ambit, to start my event management company. So that would be a perfect way to build my portfolio, is if I get with the, if I start forming,
Home meetings.
thank you,
You're welcome.
home meetings, and work on it being as elaborate. I don't know if I want to get too elaborate or if I should just stick with pizza and soda. I don't know. What have you guys seen with the vision board parties and the home meetings, and how extravagant has it gotten?
I'll just answer this quick. My wife and I have to get on a plane in a sec, so we're going to get going. I would say, look, when you're doing home meetings, okay, you have to keep it very simple and very duplicatable. Okay, so when you're having somebody over, you're having a group of people over to your house, especially if it's a new home meeting, for whether it's for your existing team to do, you know, a vision board party, or whether it's you're having a grand opening for someone's new business, which is what I prefer to do in the business. That's the fastest way to build the business, is doing grand opening in-home presentations and keeping it very simple and just asking people, look, all you have to do is get people to your house. Who's been there before? That's how you do a grand opening. And you ask those people, can you come and fill a seat in my house, okay, to make it look full, so that when my new business partners come over, I won't look foolish. Okay. That's all you're doing. The end justifies the means, and that's how you do it very quickly. And you can get a group of people together rapidly and show many, many people all at once, and then you can do right after that meeting, you have a bunch of consultants on your team that are there, you can do your vision board party right after that. So you're combining the two together and being able to do it because they're already there. That's exactly what I would do, and that's what I always explain to people as far as how to do in-home presentations. I mean, go on Top Ambit Leaders and listen to Michelle Carey and listen to Mary Amoito talk about how to do home meetings. That's how you do it, and you just model that. And I'll add one other thing too. I learned how to drive depth with Carlos from the previous network marketing business. I learned from him. He didn't even know I was learning from him. And I'll tell you right now, what he just said about going and building depth, 4 out of 5 of our senior consultants that helped us to get to executive consultant came from 9 levels down and further, because the 8 in between us and the 9th was totally dead, but we went underneath the 9th because they had a list, and we started working that list, and we ended up with 4 senior consultants there to get us to executive consultants. So depth definitely works.
All right, last question. Everybody give it up for Tony one more time.
Bye, Dana.
And let me add one last thing to her question, because, you know, one of the things, because I heard you say just Coke and pizza and so forth, coffee, soda, cookies, period, okay? One of the worst things you can do is do a fancy spread, and then the new people come to that meeting and go, well, I can't afford to buy